Hello, and welcome to English Bio Talk. I'm Anna, and it's so great to have you here today. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever learned a new English word, felt really proud of yourself, and thought, yes, I'm going to use this all the time? You feel like a genius. But then, the next day, or maybe just a few hours later, you try to remember it, and poof, it's gone. It has completely vanished from your mind. It's like your brain has a secret delete button just for new vocabulary. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know that you are not alone. This is one of the most common and frustrating problems for English learners all over the world. It's not because you have a bad memory, and it's not because you aren't smart enough. It's because you haven't been taught the right techniques. For years, we were taught in school to learn vocabulary by memorizing long lists of words and their definitions. Word on the left, translation on the right. We made hundreds of flashcards and repeated them over and over again. But this method is boring, it's difficult, and honestly, it doesn't work very well for long-term memory. But what if I told you there's a better way? A much, much better way. What if you could learn new words and make them stick in your brain so they are ready for you to use in a conversation whenever you need them? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, I'm going to share 5 powerful, scientifically proven points that will completely change the way you learn and remember new English words. These aren't complicated tricks. They are simple, practical strategies that you can start using today. By the end of this video, you will have a complete toolkit to build your vocabulary faster and more effectively than ever before. So, get a notebook ready, get comfortable, and let's unlock your brain's true potential for learning English. Point 1, understand. Don't just memorize all right. Our first and most important point is this. You must understand a word in its context, not just memorize its definition. Think about it like this. Imagine you are learning about a tree. The old method, the memorization method, is like someone just giving you the name of the tree. This is an oak tree. That's it. You know the name, but you don't really know anything about it. The new method, the understanding method, is like taking a walk in the forest. You see the oak tree. You see its size, the shape of its leaves, the texture of its bark. You see what other plants grow around it and what animals live in it. You learn that it needs a lot of sunlight and water. Now, you don't just know its name, you understand the oak tree. You have a rich, deep connection to it in your mind. This is exactly how we need to treat new English words. A word is not just a definition in a dictionary. It's a living thing with its own environment, its own friends, and its own personality. So, how do we do this? When you find a new word, let's say the word is versatile. Don't just look it up and see able to adapt to many different functions or activities. That's the old way. Instead, become a detective. Your mission is to find out everything you can about this word. First, look for example sentences. Don't just read one, read 5 or 10 of them. This is a very versatile piece of software. Okay, so it can be used for technology. She is a versatile actress who is equally brilliant in comedy and drama. So it can describe a person's skills. The potato is an incredibly versatile vegetable. You can fry it, boil it, bake it, or mash it. Interesting, it can be used for food too. Do you see what's happening? You're not just learning a definition. You are seeing how the word versatile actually behaves in real life. You're seeing it in its natural habitat. The next step is to pay attention to collocations. This is a fancy word for words that are very close friends. They almost always appear together. In English, we say heavy rain, not strong rain. We make a decision. We don't do a decision. These word partnerships are crucial for sounding natural, and learning them helps you remember the main word much more easily. So for versatile, you might notice collocations like highly versatile, incredibly versatile, versatile performer, versatile tool when you learn these chunks. Like highly versatile, you are learning 2 words at once, and you are learning the correct, natural way to use them. Your brain remembers these connected phrases better than single, isolated words. So, your new process for learning a word is this. Find a new word. Look up its meaning. Read at least 5 example sentences. Identify its collocations or friend words. Try to find a word in a real article, a YouTube video, or a book. See it used by a native speaker. This takes a little more time than just memorizing a list, but the difference is incredible. You are building a strong web of connections in your brain. The word is no longer an isolated, easy to forget piece of information. It's now part of a network connected to other ideas, sentences, and contexts, which makes it almost impossible to forget. Point 2. Create vivid connections. Our brains are not computers. They don't remember things through logic and data alone. Our brains remember things through images, emotions, and stories. The more strange, funny, or emotional a connection is, the more likely you are to remember it. Point 2 is all about using your imagination to create vivid, unforgettable connections to new words. Let's start with a technique called visualization. When you learn a new word, your goal is to create a mini movie or a crazy picture in your head that represents that word. Let's take the word gargantuan, which means extremely large. The old way, memorize gargantuan equals very big. Boring. Easy to forget. The new way, close your eyes. Imagine a pizza. But this isn't a normal pizza. This is a gargantuan pizza that is as big as your entire house. You need a ladder to put the pepperoni on it. A whole team of people is needed to carry it. Can you see it? Can you smell it? Make the image as detailed and as silly as possible. Now, whenever you hear the word gargantuan, you won't think of the definition, very big. You will instantly see that giant, house-sized pizza in your mind. That image is locked in your memory. Let's try another one. The word serene. It means calm and peaceful. Don't just memorize the definition. Think about the most peaceful place you have ever been. Is it a quiet beach at sunset? A beautiful forest in the morning? A cozy chair by a fireplace? Imagine yourself there right now. Feel the calm, warm feeling. That specific place, that is serene. You have now linked the word not to another word, peaceful, but to a personal feeling and a memory. This is a much stronger connection. Another powerful tool for creating connections is using mnemonics. This is where you connect a new word to something it sounds like in English or even in your own language. Let's take the word diligent. It means working carefully and with a lot of effort. Diligent kind of sounds like deli-gent. A deli is a shop that sells sandwiches, and a gent is a short word for a gentleman. So, you can create a mental picture of a gentleman in a deli, working very carefully, being very diligent, to make the perfect sandwich for you. He is carefully placing the lettuce and tomatoes. He is focused. He is diligent. Is it silly? Yes. Does it work? Absolutely. The crazier and funnier the story, the better. Let's do one more. The word ephemeral, which means lasting for a very short time. This is a tricky one. But ephemeral sounds a bit like his female. So you could imagine a story about a mayfly, an insect that only lives for one day. A boy mayfly falls in love with a girl mayfly, but their love is ephemeral because his female will be gone by tomorrow. It's a sad little story, but you will definitely remember what ephemeral means. So, for every new word you learn, ask yourself, what picture can I create in my mind for this word? What personal memory or feeling does this word connect to? What does this word sound like? Can I create a funny story or image from that sound? You are turning the boring task of memorization into a fun, creative game. You are actively engaging your brain, and you will be amazed at how easily the words start to stick. Point 3. Use it or lose it. You can have the best understanding of a word and the most creative mental image for it, but if you don't actively use it, it will eventually fade away. This brings us to point 3, which is a famous saying, use it or lose it. This is about moving from passive learning to active learning. Passive learning is when you consume information. Reading a word list or watching a video, even this one, is passive. Active learning is when you produce something with the information. This is when your brain has to work to retrieve the word from your memory and use it. Every time you do this, you tell your brain, hey, this word is important. Don't delete it. So, how can you actively use your new vocabulary? Here are some incredibly effective ways. First, the 24-hour rule. When you learn a new word, your goal should be to use it in some way within 24 hours. This is a critical window for memory. One of the easiest ways to do this is to speak it out loud. You don't even need a partner. You can talk to yourself. If you just learned the word ambitious, create a simple sentence and say it. My ambitious plan for the weekend is to clean the entire house. Say it. Let your mouth and your ears get familiar with the word. The physical act of speaking creates a stronger memory trace in the brain. Second, write it down. But I don't mean just writing the word and its definition. I want you to start a vocabulary journal. This can be a physical notebook or a file on your computer. For every new word, I want you to write your own sentence. Not a sentence from the dictionary, but a sentence about your life, your thoughts, or your day. If you learn the word nostalgic, you could write, "Listening to that old song made me feel so nostalgic for my childhood." This connects the word directly to your own life, making it much more meaningful and memorable. To take this a step further, try the 3 to 5 word challenge. At the end of each week, choose 3 to 5 of the new words you've learned. Your challenge is to write a short paragraph or a silly little story that uses all of them correctly. This forces you to think about how the words relate to each other and how to use them in a natural way. Third, and this is one of the most powerful techniques of all, teach it to someone else. You don't have to be a teacher. You can explain the word to a friend, a family member, or even just pretend to explain it to an imaginary student. The act of teaching forces you to understand the word on a much deeper level. You have to be able to explain it simply. You have to think of good example sentences. As the famous saying goes, to teach is to learn twice. If you can explain a word clearly to someone else, you have truly mastered it. So, make a promise to yourself. Every time you learn a new word, don't just put it on a list. Actively use it. Say it, write it, and teach it. Turn your learning from a passive activity into an active one. Point 4, review smart, not hard, okay? So you're understanding words in context, creating vivid connections, and using them actively. That's amazing. But our brains are designed to forget information that we don't use regularly. This was studied by a German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus, who created something called the forgetting curve. The curve shows that we forget information very quickly after we first learn it. We might forget 50% within just 1 hour and 70% within a day. This sounds scary, but don't worry. There is a way to fight this curve, and that brings us to point 4, review smart, not hard, using spaced repetition. The key word here is spaced. It means reviewing information at the perfect moment, right before you are about to forget it. Each time you do this, you reset the forgetting curve and the memory becomes stronger and lasts longer. Imagine you learn a new word today. If you review it tomorrow, the memory gets stronger. Now you can wait 3 or 4 days before you review it again. The next time, you can wait a week, then a month, then several months. This system of reviewing at increasing intervals is called a spaced repetition system, or SRS. It is the most efficient way to transfer vocabulary from your short-term memory to your permanent, long-term memory. It feels like magic, but it's just science. So how can you apply SRS? There are 2 main ways, the low-tech way and the high-tech way. The low-tech way is to use flashcards or a notebook, often called the Lightner system. You can make 5 boxes. Box 1 is for new words. You review these every day. When you know a word from box 1, you move it to box 2. You review box 2 every 3 days. When you get a word right from box 2, it moves to box 3. You review this box once a week. Box 4 could be for reviewing every 2 weeks. And box 5 could be for reviewing once a month. If you ever forget a word from any box, it has to go all the way back to box 1. This system ensures that you spend more time on the words you find difficult and less time on the words you already know well. Now, the high-tech way is much easier. You can use an SRS app on your phone or computer. Apps like Anki or Quizlet are fantastic for this. You create digital flashcards, and the app's algorithm does all the work for you. It automatically calculates the perfect time to show you each card. It knows when you are about to forget a word and brings it back for you to review. I highly recommend using an SRS app. It takes just 5 to 10 minutes a day, and it is probably the single most effective way to ensure you never forget a word you have learned. You can do it while waiting for the bus, during your coffee break, or before you go to sleep. The key is consistency. A little bit of smart review every day is far more effective than one long, stressful review session once a week. So, fight the forgetting curve. Use spaced repetition and make your hard work stick forever. Point 5. Immerse yourself in English. Our final point is the one that ties everything together and makes learning vocabulary feel less like studying and more like living. Point 5 is to immerse yourself in English. Think about how you learned your native language. You didn't sit down with flashcards and vocabulary lists when you were a baby. You were surrounded by it. You heard it, you saw it, and you lived it. This is the most natural and powerful way to learn a language. The goal is to make English a natural part of your daily life, not just a subject you study for an hour a day. When you are constantly seeing and hearing words in their natural context, you will start to absorb them without even trying. But Anna, you might say, I don't live in an English-speaking country. That doesn't matter anymore. With the internet, you can create your own English immersion environment right from your bedroom. Here's how. First, change your input. What do you read, watch, and listen to every day for fun? Start doing those things in English. Do you love cooking? Start reading cooking blogs and watching cooking shows on YouTube in English. Are you a huge fan of football? Follow your favorite teams on English language sports websites and listen to English podcasts about the sport. Do you love video games? Watch streamers who play in English or join an international server. Do you like to relax with a movie or a TV series? Watch it in English. Start with subtitles in your own language if you need to. Then, challenge yourself to switch to English subtitles. Eventually, you can try watching with no subtitles at all. The key is to choose topics that you are genuinely interested in. If you force yourself to read boring news articles, you'll quit. But if you're reading about your passion, your hobby, it won't feel like work. You will be so focused on the topic that you'll absorb new vocabulary naturally. Second, change your environment. This is a simple but very effective trick. Change the language setting on your phone, your computer, and your social media apps to English.at first. It might feel a little strange, but you will quickly get used to it. You will learn the English words for settings, notifications, send, and delete without ever having to study them. You are surrounding yourself with the language. Third, find a community. Find a way to interact with other people in English. This could be joining an online forum about your favorite hobby, finding a language exchange partner on an app, or even just leaving comments in English on YouTube videos like this one. When you immerse yourself, you stop being a student who is studying vocabulary. You become a user of the English language. The words are not on a list anymore. They are tools that you need to communicate, to learn about things you love, and to connect with people. This is the ultimate goal. When learning vocabulary becomes a side effect of you just enjoying your life in English, that's when you know you have succeeded. Conclusion so, there you have it. 5 powerful, practical strategies to transform your vocabulary and, with it, your entire experience of speaking English. Let's do a very quick review. Understand, don't memorize, become a word detective. Learn words in their natural context and pay attention to their friends, the collocations. Create vivid connections. Use your imagination. Make funny pictures, stories, and personal connections to make words unforgettable. Use it or lose it. Move from passive to active learning. Say your new words, write with them, and teach them. Review smart, not hard. Fight the forgetting curve with spaced repetition. Use an app like Anki to make sure you review at the perfect time. Immerse yourself. Make English a part of your daily life. Read, watch, and listen to things you love, all in English. I know this might seem like a lot of information, but you don't have to do it all at once. Try starting with just 1 or 2 of these techniques this week. Maybe you can focus on creating mental pictures for new words, or maybe you'll download an SRS app and give it a try. Remember, building a great vocabulary is not about having a special talent or a good memory. It's about having the right strategy and being consistent. You can absolutely do this. Every new word you learn is a new key that unlocks a new part of the world. Now, I have a challenge for you. I want you to practice point 3 right now. In the comments below, I want you to write one new English word you have learned recently and use it in your own sentence. Tell us about your life, your day, or your thoughts using that word. I will read every single comment and do my best to reply. Let's learn together as a community. If you found this video helpful and want more tips to improve your English, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you click that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell too, so you never miss a video from me Anna, here at English Bio Talk. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye for now.